we do like PayPal. I mean, here's a company that still has 420 million users, new management within the last year, a whole suite of management actually. It's trading about 14 times earnings, very good cash flow, starting to see some growth and good margin numbers, buying back shares. We do like PayPal right now. It's kind of going against the grain, if you will, because the stock has not done very well for the last couple of years. But we think that's the opportunity that they've been able to maintain that customer base.
I also want to get your thoughts on the energy sector, given obviously it's such a politically sensitive issue. And we've had Vice President Kamala Harris come out and clarify that she's not going to ban fracking. In the state of Pennsylvania, obviously, that became like a big deal that she didn't do it in the past and she's not going to do it in the future. What's your sense about how one can play the energy sector, both traditional as well as renewables?
Sure. Obviously, a big area. You know, you've got natural gas here in the U.S. that's been floating around $2 for a good year now. You've got the oil prices on the WTI down below 70. But you do have the traditional companies, the Chevrons and Exxons of the world, trading at very low valuations with good dividends, 10 times earnings and 12 times earnings respectively, with yields over 3, 4, approaching 5%. It's kind of a contrarian view. We do like to invest for the long term, but we don't just chase momentum. So we're looking at good, solid companies for the long term that have decent valuations, and we think these valuations are okay. The sector seems to be washed out in the U.S. in terms of selling pressure and so forth. So from that standpoint, these names could be very attractive. Obviously, the risk is that oil prices continue to go down. It has become somewhat of a contentious issue with the upcoming election over fracking, and meanwhile, U.S. production, I think, is at the record levels right now. So, you know, whatever that means, it's very interesting. Today, you saw at least in the U.S., the solar companies did very well. The Invesco Solar, which is a play on the whole market, TAN is the symbol there, had a bounce after it's been weak for about a good year now. We like a name, Kinder Morgan, which is a pipeline company, trading at a more higher valuation. But if you're trying to get product around the country, KMI certainly has the pipelines to do that, and they have a very solid business. This is not going to be a high-growing technology company. It's just a steady Eddie with a core solid base of business.
Right. And before we go, very quickly, I believe we have less than a minute. Craig, what's your call on PepsiCo?
We like Pepsi here, great brand name, obviously sodas and salty snacks, stocks trading at about 20 times earnings. Rarely do you get a chance to buy such a good quality company, good balance sheet, good cash flow at such valuation levels. So again, we like these companies for the long term, and when they get to valuation levels that we think are attractive, that's where we add to our positions.